Hi and welcome to the end of the year. Now, the end of the year means this is the Christmas special, something that I have been looking forward to. And in the wise words of Monty Python, and now for something completely different. This is a seminal episode where we try and draw all of the learning and all of the insight together over almost 180 episodes. And to do that, there was only one person. There was only one person to do that. And it was the self-help guru and gangster motivator that is affectionately known as Vaughan, or Vaughan Spencer. Trust me, you don't want to miss this episode. Come back to me just after the break. Hi, I'm Adam Pacifico, and welcome to The Leadership Enigma, a world-ranked, award-winning podcast that's insatiably curious as regards what leaders do, how they do it, and importantly, why. We'll delve into the human doing, but even deeper into the human being and the power of human-centered leadership to drive sustainable change. So whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, corporate executive, each week we speak to global experts, academics, rising stars, ambitious upstarts and disruptors, as together we will discover that success leaves clues. Elvo, it is a massive warm welcome to the Christmas special.
Hi, thanks for having me. So it's Vaughan Spencer. You know Jennifer Lopez?
I do.
And she's J-Lo, so I'm Elvo, L-Vo, V-O.
The dash is important.
The dash is important because some people say Elvo like Elvis. That'll do. I'm the Elvis of leadership perhaps, but Elvo, I'm the Jennifer Lopez of leadership.
We kind of love that. Now, I introduced you as the self-help guru and gangster motivator. Now, where did that come from?
Well, sometimes, just normal text isn't good enough. Just prose. Yo, I is not J-Lo. I is Elvo. I is the badass motivator. I am your coach. I'll help you to the future. Yo, I is not J-Lo. I is Elvo. I is the shaman for the layman. It's a no-brainer. I'm your management trainer. Think of me as a safe container. I is your tutor for the future. I hope it suits you. I do alchemy from the balcony of your psyche. My mission is the fruition of your intuition.
I have no idea where to go from that one, other than
up.
Let's talk about where this has all come from, because you are here as a credible guest on the Leadership Enigma. As you know, we've been around for some time now, almost 3 years. We are introducing the recipient of the Leadership Podcast of the Year 2023, as I wave that at you. But let's talk about you.
That's impressive. But, I've won my fair share of awards. In the top 5 Hertfordshire business speakers, I'm pretty much there over the last 20 plus years.
There's more awards than that, though, I saw.
Many awards, all sorts of awards. I spent some time in Canada. I had my own TV chat show there called Let Go with Elvo, which won an award for Best Middle of the Night Cable Talk Show. In a non-metropolitan area.
Between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m.
That's right. That's a tough crowd, that one, to beat. The 2 to 4 a.m. is maybe easier, I'd say, Adam. But tell me about your listener.
Well, relation.
Your relation.
Always the best way, the one listener.
It's great to
is
be
a relation.
Here. Oh, isn't it? I've long admired you.
From a distance.
From a distance. Nancy Griffin. You know her?
No.
From a distance. Hey, whether you're a monsieur or madame, you need a dose of Pacifico Adam. Today, at last, it's the turn of Elvo to join Adam Pacifico in the ever-expanding cast of his podcast. It's the Leadership Enigma, so much better than Lean Six Sigma. Oh, no, it is the opposite of stigma.
Now, I'm very flattered because that was just for me, right?
That was just for you, Adam.
Well, that's a real honour.
Yeah. This leadership podcast, you've done pretty well with it, haven't you, so far?
Well, not bad. We're still going after nearly, 180 episodes?
180 episodes, Adam. I think you've done really well. But the thing that I've come to ask you, though, is, do you moisturize?
Normally, daily.
Do you floss?
Does it? No.
Do you irrigate your system, you see, Adam?
Now,
I know you're struggling here in a tiny little studio in the middle of North London, really, but you've got to raise your sights a little bit. Now, how many men like you, middle-ranking executive types, are failing because your skincare regime lets you down, yeah? Do you know what I mean?
It is cold out.
Yeah.
It is a bit.
You need to moisturize. People forget that the leadership. Have you even covered this on the Leadership Enigma podcast?
Skincare.
Skincare, vital.
Skincare for leaders.
Exactly. Ask any top leader, and they will say, "Yes, of course, I'm a succeeder, because I look after my skincare." And what are you eating as well, Adam? Think about your diet.
Oh, don't you start as well. I have enough of that from my wife, who tells
Your
me
wife.
that I don't
You're
eat.
married.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I am. I don't even know where that's going to go now.
Well, the thing is, have you heard about the alphabet diet?
No.
You see importance. I'm talking about moisturizer, but the importance of spelling. Spelling, for example, rearrange the letters of live. What do you get? Live.
Right.
What do you get? Evil, vile, vli. You see, Adam, that's no way to live, is it? It's not even a word, is it?
No.
See how important spelling is. And that's why I came to the idea of the alphabet diet. You should only eat food that begins with the same letter as your name. A. So you should be eating asparagus.
I can do that.
Anchovy.
Yeah.
Apples.
Yeah.
Animals.
It depends.
Abalone.
Abalone. Okay.
Armenian food.
Right.
Yeah. Now, in the little tiny sound booth out there is Jesse. What should he be eating? Juice, jackfruit, John Dory, joints of meat, julienne of vegetables, Japanese food. If you stick to this regime, with your proper skincare regime, you can start thinking about what's important.
So I've got to ask you a question about what is it that you eat then that corresponds with your name?
Well, I eat lamb, leeks, liver, lettuce, and lamb's lettuce is especially good.
Or perhaps not in that order.
Depends what order. It doesn't really mind. They all come out the same place.
As people are listening and watching this and actually think to themselves, what is going on the Leadership Enigma? Let's talk about where your wisdom and insight comes from. Now, you were at the University of the Isle of Wight, I believe, correct?
That's right.
Studying?
I did the philosophy of table tennis combined with antisocial French.
With a bit of intermediate French, as you say.
There was intermediate. We talked, people talk about social French. Sometimes you need business French. Sometimes you need antisocial French.
Now, I am a big tennis fan.
Yes.
There's a bit of a tennis link as well here to your background, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know if you know, I won a scholarship to the San Diego School of Business.
Right.
Combining an MBA with tennis. Stefan Edberg was teaching accountancy.
And where did you get most of your leadership insight from then?
Well, when you've been around the block, as I have, I'm from the Luton area. Do you know Luton? I ran my own chill distribution business there.
I know Luton very well.
And, at some point I realised, big business, because I was running a business with a turnover in excess of £12,000. But I realised, Adam, and maybe one day you'll wise up to what really matters.
Tell me.
Just, it's not about who and what and where. It's about why. It's about the why, that what's in the middle of the why. And I went to find myself. I went to study. I went to live in Borneo with a tribe. And I then went to live with the primitive hill tribes in Peru as well. And I found that they have no word for failure.
Right.
They don't even think about failure. Yeah, failure. So, Adam, stop thinking of yourself as a failure all the time. You're not a failure.
Just a non-achiever.
Exactly, a non-achiever, the opposite of a succeeder. And that's my motto. Don't be needy, be succeedy.
Well, I wanted to ask about that motto because I've heard it a few times. Don't be needy, be succeedy. Where's that coming from?
Well, exactly. Where is it coming? Where is it going from? Because a lot of people define success as cash, money. Now, I know nothing of that. But I see succeediness as really finding yourself. And that's why my headquarters right now in the business park, the Alpha Business Park in Luton. And that's where I found myself that, as you know, Adam, real success doesn't come just from material things. I mean, look at what you're wearing, for example. Have you ever had color therapy where you look at your color, the color of your, the kind of what kind of thing you are, and your skin tones, the color of your personality, if you will. You can see
grey.
Grey. Yeah, that's what I see. You can see I'm wearing autumn colors.
I know.
I'm autumn, time of change, a time of shedding. You're a wet weekend in November.
The best. Are we December now?
We are, but it's a pretty wet one, isn't it?
It's true.
So, Adam, tell me about you.
Well,
why are you here?
Well, I'm here because I'm passionate about human-centered leadership.
Yeah, I've come across some leadership that wasn't human-centered.
Tell me more.
Well, it was centered around a computer.
Right.
Yeah, it was also centered around a spreadsheet.
I've got a question.
And some fools actually have got customer-centered leadership. This seems to be a mistake.
That's why.
Leader-centered leadership is what it's about.
How was the pandemic for you?
Pandemic, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm a busy man.
Oh, I know.
And the pandemic was where I was locked down, and things were quiet. Let's say that. But I found a way. I talk about helping people. I help teams become more remote. That's how I see it.
More remote,
because without that, then who are we? What are we? I'm ready to help you. I think of me as the motivational equivalent of Deliveroo. Yeah, I put the emote into remote. I put the X into WebEx. I put the sap into WhatsApp. I put the face into Facebook. I put the stag into Instagram. I'll put the tick into your talk. I put the twit into Twitter. I put the virtue into virtue. I'll bring some glamour to your yammer. I put the oh-so into Microsoft Teams. So I was working a lot with people who were struggling. They were feeling hybrid. Do you feel hybrid right now?
Not right now, because this is great face-to-face.
We are great. We are face-to-face. Here's my face here, and there's your face there. But,
even with lack of skincare.
Exactly. But it's not looking too bad, I must say. Maybe it could be just the lights. But I can help bring some vavavoom to your Zoom. Are you stuck in the virtual waiting room? Do you suspect that Adobe Connect is some weird cyber sect? It's time maybe, Adam, to unsubscribe from your digital tribe. Does your webinar need some Colada Pinard, a bit of Jean-Michel Jarre? Are you ready to reboot your avatar? You've come too far to worry about GDPR. So where are you now, actually? How are you finding remote, Adam? I know you're quite remote from a lot of people.
I'm just kind of baffled as to how you find the time to focus on all of that for your global client base.
Well, that's true. I sometimes have to get up very early in the morning. In fact, stay up late at night because I've got clients on the other side of the world, Australia. But what about the new normal? How do you feel about the new normal? What is it, the new normal? Are you a twat?
Help me?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. Well, a little bit of that.
Because I mean, right now, what are you doing? Because I know you were a barista or a barrister. Barista.
Yeah.
So you were selling coffee in court
with wig and gown on.
With wig and gown, yeah.
Well, that's a pretty rare mix itself, isn't it?
I think it works, yeah.
Okay.
But people, what do you wear on a Teams, Zoom, or WebEx or Google video call?
Well, it's the middle of the winter, isn't it? So sometimes it's jeans and hoodie and.
What about an hoodie?
An hoodie?
Have you come across
that?
No,
What's
an hoodie? It's like a duvet, a furry duvet, but with a hood.
I don't have one of these.
Well, you want to get a Succeedy hoodie.
Oh,
Succeed hoodie.
Can I get one of these from you?
Well, you'll have to go to my website, thesucceeder.com. Try it out. You'll find all sorts of material there, the alphabet diet and other things. But, some people say pajamas. Are they just too informal for the new normal? Did you decline my diary invite? Did you book through Eventbrite? Do you feel like a rookie because you accepted every cookie? This is the trouble. Say yes to the tech or say no to the tech. How much privacy have you given to Google, maybe with your metadata? You should be more frugal. This is the thing now where we talk about cybersecurity, we talk about AI, Where are you in the AI food chain?
Well, I think I'm trying to learn more about it, which is why we've had some guests in recently talking about AI.
And what is your cyber fiber?
My cyber fiber?
Yeah.
I think I need to know more and leverage it more.
Are you generative?
Always.
Yeah. Because you could just be replaced by a large language model, an LLM as we call them.
Well, that's probably likely, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I'm working on my own right now called ChatGPT Succeedy.
Right.
Yeah. So you just put words in, it comes out with some Succeedy motivational raps.
Okay.
Of
now,
which I'm full.
You've got loads of Succeedy motivational raps, haven't you? And we've already been given a little bit of a taster of that. Do you have any other Succeedy rap that you wanted to share with anyone?
Here we are. I've been working on this during the...
Well, I thought that was a good cue up, wasn't it?
Thank you. With the COVID, what rhymes with COVID other than Ovid? Have you read much classics?
No.
No, neither I. But for now is the winter of our silent discotheque. Is the method in your rhythm, or are we all slaves to the algorithm? Are you a digital native? Is your favorite grammatical case the dative? Is your password secure? Is your keychain demure? Don't be dejected if you're double password protected.
I love these.
Yeah. So the thing is, Adam, I'm there to help people find who they really are, to be a succeeder leader. Now, you've heard of servant leader, haven't you?
I have.
But have you heard of leader-servant?
No.
No, or succeeder-leader.
Tell me more.
What is the leader? There are times, people ask me, how do I motivate people? Well, I find the best way to motivate people is to shout at them very loudly until they do what I want.
How's that working for you?
Well, am I joking, Adam?
I don't know
Sometimes. Do you need directive leadership, Adam? Are you scared of that?
No.
Are you the guy at the back saying, ho, go on, do what you like? Or are you at the front leading? Maybe you need both.
A little bit at the front, a little bit at the back. How about, is that okay?
Sometimes in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You've done 1,300 of these podcasts. What's been your main learning?
Wow. What's been my main learning has been it's all about the human being over the human doing. That's my takeaway.
And how many doings have you done?
Lots of doings, about 180 of them.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So what do you mean by being a leader?
Well, I think we're really talking about that human-centric approach where people really connect and reconnect and stay connected, especially after the pandemic.
Interesting.
Does that kind of make sense?
That makes some sense. But when you say human-centric, I have to ask you again, who's the human? Is it me? Is it you? Is it we?
Both.
Let's turn me from me to we.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The we?
Us.
That all sounds, a little bit touchy-feely, doesn't it?
Possibly.
You may want to, for example, it's hard.
How can I harden this up then?
Maybe that's it.
I should never have asked that question.
Maybe not, Adam. But the thing is, it's hard to be a man, isn't it? Do you consider yourself a real man?
I would. Well,
with all these changing models of leadership and what gender stereotyping are all changing, aren't they? We all need to know what is it to be a man?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Well, I think that's
You've
an
got to
existential
find,
question.
For example, I run a whole weekend in Watford at the Ramada Jarvis
This is
Hotel.
your Watford Warrior weekend.
The Watford Warrior,
You've got to
exactly.
tell us all about that.
Because it's hard to be a man, isn't it? We what do women want? What do men want? Who should we be? So I get together some men just to take some time, naked save for a loincloth, just to understand, to really just focus on each other's masculinity, to really examine each other's manhood. And we find that moisturizing helps.
We're back to moisturizing.
Moisturizing, and we often chant together, Hakuna Matata, just to find that man, because we're getting confused, aren't we?
How often are you running the Watford Warrior weekend then?
Right now, not so often, but maybe you and I, Adam, we could start
Can we resurrect it?
We could resurrect it, yeah.
How can we put the leadership in Igba into the Watford Warrior
I think we could do that, where people, men can say, what is it to be a real man? Women can say, what is it to be a real woman? What do we mean by these? These are mere labels, are they not?
I think we're going to ask more questions than we give answers.
I think that might be right, but in a way, isn't life a question?
I think so.
Yeah.
What other events are you doing as well? Because I know I've seen lots of conferences and keynotes that you've done.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the messages that you have for leaders at the moment. Here we are, 2023 Christmas coming into 2024. What should leaders really be thinking about?
Well, for example, I've studied many cultures around the world. Leadership is as ancient as a piece of bread, isn't it? What do leaders do across the world? For example, I spent time in North America with the Native Americans. I really learned their ways. They took me in as one of their own. I became what, if you like, a motivational medicine man. They gave me a new name.
Go on.
Talking Bull. I am Talking Bull, Adam. And that really made a difference, I felt. People started to listen, and I understood that maybe 21st century Western life isn't the answer to this. We need to go deeper within ourselves. As you say, human-centered. In the old days, they didn't have computers. They didn't have cars.
Nope.
They didn't have get me a celebrity, I'm out of here. They did have human-centered. They had nothing else.
Just us.
Yes.
Just you, just
Yes.
me, just us.
What's the kind of leader that we want to be human-centered?
Is that a question to me?
I think it's a question to all of us.
I think it's someone. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Well,
as you're my special guest for the Christmas.
That's right. Well, I think it should be human-centered, and I could be the human.
I would hope so.
You might want to check out my book, which is called
okay, let's talk about that.
Don't Be Needy, Be Succeedy, the A to Z of Motivitality.
Right.
So there's all sorts of stories there about what I've learned
Available
from
on the website.
It's actually available, and
One copy.
This one isn't though. You
Right,
can't have that.
okay.
No way. But I have got some little badges if you want.
Okay.
But leadership.
Yes.
We're crying out for leadership,
We
are
are.
we not? Now, what kind of model do we want people to be finding their leadership within? That's what I go to organizations. Who here is a leader? 3 people put their hands up. Of course, I want everyone to put their hands up. Leadership is getting the coffee. Leadership is opening the filing cabinet, as well as being the CEO, this under-moisturized, sad-looking character. We've got to think about the CEO. We've got to be kinder to her or to him, don't we? Don't you think?
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But tell me, how do people react to you when you take the stage in front of maybe hundreds of people? And I've seen lots of videos with you doing just that. Are they nervous? Are they skeptical? How are you received?
It depends. Depends where they are, how they are,
Yeah.
who they are, when they are. Because I'm challenging the prevailing orthodoxy. I'm attempting nothing less than a heist on the zeitgeist. People think of me as the Eminem of motivation. I'm the Che Guevara of change, but because I'm offering a real radical alternative here, which is let's not look at the bottom line. Let's look at the lines differently. Let's think of different lines. Let's think of lines that aren't straight, you know.
Squiggly.
Let's think of squiggly lines.
Okay.
Squiggly, succeedy lines. You know, that people talk about, reporting lines or org chart. Do you have an org chart?
I think most people have an org chart of some description.
But what about the things that aren't in a box? What about if they were in circles? What about if it wasn't top down but bottom up, or sideways, center, something like that? A different way of looking at the radical, exactly. Because when we're at home, we're all remote. What can we really do? You know, as a leader, are you checking in? Are you checking up? What's going on? For example, I would suggest leaders should go around to people's houses when they're not expecting it. Just knock on their door. That's what I do to some of my clients. Just stand in their garden for half an hour to see what's going on, what's really going on. Because otherwise we draw a veil, don't we, Adam?
Do you meet the police a lot?
I've never met Sting, but I think of myself as the Sting of motivational. You know, you tantric sex. I'm tantric succeediness. Yeah.
Okay, tantric succeediness.
Yeah.
I'm definitely hearing phrases that I haven't heard yet in a kind of a leadership field. So I'm learning.
Exactly.
And I hope everyone watching and listening is learning some
after 189, and I'm surprised you haven't heard the radical stuff that I'm offering here. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question about, there's someone that you met that a lot of people will know, and that was Richard Branson. How did that come about? Because obviously, two iconic people together.
Yeah, he kept his PA was calling my PA. He's emailing me. He's somehow, I don't know who gave him my phone number.
He tracked you.
He tracked me. LinkedIn, everything. Friends reunited.
Yep.
He was trying everything. In the end, I said, "It's okay, Richard." And the thing was, his business, where would he be without me?
I think he said that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be anywhere without you.
I think we have a clip of that as well.
We do have a clip of that. We'll cut it in.
Cut it in there because
we'll cut it into this
Richard
video.
Branson, what was he doing before he made a plane? He was selling pickle or something, wasn't he?
So you had a massive impact on his trajectory.
I can't really say who else I've helped, but I just
saw that on the video. Now you've had some really good results. I think you have you got some metrics for us in relation to some of the impact that you're having on people's businesses?
I mean, as I say, I've worked in North America. I got a phone call today from one of my clients in Vancouver. That's in Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, and the CEO he called me today and he said that turnover is up 76%.
Wow.
Profits are up 23%, but staff turnover is down to negative 13%.
Wow, what does that mean?
That means people who are left are asking to come back.
Right.
Ouch, yeah? Call the cops, dude. Call the cops.
So boomerangers,
exactly.
Wow.
Boomerangers, that's, but how did I do that with him? What I do with leaders, and I could do this with you, Adam, if you could find the cash, is that I spent 2 days alone without sleep or food or clothes.
Right.
We role-played 43 Succeedy scenarios over an open fire. This is what we do. We role-play, we work out, we future cast, we look at where the future could lead us. What is the future but the past that's going to be between now and the future. In many ways,
I think I'm following.
The past is exactly where we're treading. The present becomes the past. The future becomes the present, and so forth. It's just an ineluctable rotation.
Wow, that's almost like a Donald Rumsfeld quote that you just gave me there.
Yes,
I'm going to have to rewatch or re-listen to that in order to.
I think you will
work it out.
It's hopefully there'll be a transcript.
I am
of
of modest intellect at the best of times.
That's right. Well, I'm told you said you used to be a police officer and a barista.
Yeah, all of the above.
Or all of the above. You have tried, and still you can't find who you really
Not
are.
a clue.
Well, here we are.
I'm trying. I'm using this as a vehicle to try and understand.
Well, I'm here to help you.
Thank you.
Maybe you should do some one-on-one.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm slightly frightened.
Good. That's where you need to. Unless you're frightened, you'll never learn.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to be a barrister, or was it a barista? Talking about leadership, he's not going into receivership or car dealership. Let's be specifico, Mr. Pacifico. He's no prankster, ladies and gentlemen. He is the original gangster.
Oh,
I think if he was a goat.
A goat. What? As in
greatest
of all time?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
that's
look
why
at this.
The award. Yeah. How many other people were actually up for this award?
Don't worry about that.
So the leadership podcast.
The leadership enigma.
Yes.
Podcast.
But I'm saying, how many leadership podcasts are there?
Oh, many.
See, I'm too busy to do a podcast. I'm too busy righting wrongs.
But you found the time to come and talk to me today.
That's right.
I know we booked you many.
Well, you did. You booked me.
Months,
actually, 12 years ahead. And as you know, I insist on payment up front. And that's great. That's good. I'm not far from you. I'm just up the A1, M1 at Luton.
You are. Well, tell me how Luton's come. Now, Luton, they're a Premier League football
Now
team.
they are.
Now they are.
I've been working.
So
with them.
how's
The
Luton
Hatters.
become the centre for you?
Well, look at it. I'm based in Luton, which begins with L.
Thank you.
Like leader.
Oh, I see.
Love
I'm with you.
and my name.
Right, it wasn't
Elvo.
a trick question,
You
was
see
it?
how important spelling is. For
I'm
example, have you? That's for a moment. Well, I'll talk about Luton in a moment. But self-esteem. Have you ever heard of it?
I have.
What are the first four letters?
What, SELF?
But they spell a word. Adam, wake up.
What do they spell?
What's the word?
Self.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do you believe in yourself?
I do.
I do.
Right.
Do you believe in God? Does God believe in you? Well, I do. And in many ways, it's the same thing. Take away the S of self. What do you have?
Elf.
Elf, is that you? Are you a little pixie boy? You've won this.
At this time of year, possibly.
Possibly. You've won the podcast, but really, who are you really?
I'm just an elf.
Just an elf. But Luton, I'm talking about Luton a lot. It's the centre. The reason they built the airport there was because of all the energy,
right?
The ley lines through the body, the body of.
So you were a kind of
right in there, yeah.
Located in Luton before it became a thing.
Exactly. People talk about Silicon Valley. Well, let's talk about Succeedy Triangle.
Okay.
Yeah, Luton, Watford, Stevenage. This amazing centre of energy, tech, awareness. This is the Succeedy Triangle, much like the Silicon Valley of California. You're just outside it, I noticed.
Yeah, I'm not far. Well,
in Edgware.
We're here, Mill Hill.
Yeah.
So you're in the northwest London studio.
Yeah.
And I know anyone who doesn't know those areas may associate with all three of them with football teams.
That's right.
So you've got your Luton, you've got your Watford, and you've got your Stevenage.
Stevenage Town, I think.
All in different leagues, mind you.
Exactly. But I guess some of my fans I know from North America, but they won't know what Luton Town is. But their nickname is the Hatters.
Yes.
Because whenever they play, they wear a hat.
Right. That's it?
They keep their heads warm. Because 93% of heat is lost through the head.
But have you seen the ground at Luton, the football ground?
Yes.
It's quite something, isn't it?
It's small.
It is small.
But they know how to play there.
Well, they nearly beat Arsenal, but that's another. There's a football podcast out of this very studio. We're straying into their territory.
We
now,
are
I think.
indeed. Yeah.
I've got another question for you.
Okay.
What do you think of Neil Malarkey?
This guy stalks me.
Right.
I've been trying to shake him off. He's there. He's around. I'm trying my best, but he's still there.
And what are you going to do about it?
Instruct lawyers.
Oh, we're back to lawyers again.
As you're a barrister, you could perhaps help.
I want to come to some kind of messages that you want to give all of those who are listening and hopefully watching in relation to the best advice you think you've ever given or received for leaders. What do you reckon?
Well, that's right. Leaders. I did have one guy come on one of my Watford Warrior weekends named Charles. He was running a business, successful marriage, but, he knew that was nothing. And now he lives in a caravan. That, to me, is real success. He found out who he really was. He really was.
And that's what he's doing now.
Yeah. It's a nice caravan. And he obviously, he makes hemp plates now and obviously gives me a 50% commission on everything he sells because I helped him.
So you've got some wonderful case studies. What's the best case study you think you'd like to point to?
In many ways, I'm the best case study.
Well,
the case study is the one I'm doing right now, Adam. I can feel it now. Exactly.
Is this going to be at the pinnacle of what has been an incredible career for you, coming onto the leadership enigma?
No.
No. Okay. But is it memorable?
It's been so memorable. It's so memorable. I've had a blast. At your talent, I've been aghast. To your ship, I will tie my mast. Hey, Mr. Pacifico, do you like your ham? That is Iberico. Or wrestling that is Roman Greco? Is your favorite unincorporated territory Puerto Rico? Who's your favorite Soviet politico? Was it Andre Gromyko? Your favorite Brazilian footballer? Was it Zico? Is your ego large or Pico?
I love the fact that you've written these specially for the show. This is a big
for
thing,
you,
right?
For you, this is a big thing.
This is, you don't do this for everyone,
Only
do you?
for award-winning podcasts.
Thank you very much. Can I just...
Yeah, what was it? Leadership
Anyway, enough of
Podcast
that.
2023.
2023, yeah?
So that's been decided by a panel of...
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I ask you some rapid-fire questions? I've just decided to do this, actually.
Okay.
So, and if you want to pass, Nanny, then You've got various toys and buzzers and things like that. All right, here we go. PC or Mac?
Yeah.
Great. Book or movie?
Movie. My life is a movie.
Well, you've got your book sat right in front of you.
The book is there, but in a way, I've made more movies than books. Check out Succeedy.com. Lots of movies there. I've been interviewed by all sorts of people, even you, right? This is going to be a video, right?
This is going to be a video.
Yeah,
look,
exactly.
we're on the screen.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Yeah, so video, because then people can feel and smell and hear.
Smell.
Book, there is a smell, but I want people to be able to see and hear. So movies, Brad Pitt. Pitt.
Football or rugby?
Rugby.
Oh, okay.
Because in a way, we're all tackling. We're all in the scrum.
Oh, I like that.
A scrum, I'm very agile. Agile.
Agile's a big deal.
Agile's a big deal. I don't care about waterfall. I'm agile. Centre. Rugby, pass it down the line, keep the lines, ruck, maul. These are all excellent words to apply to life.
So definitely from sports or the arts?
The arts, because of course I'm a songwriter myself.
And a rapper.
Exactly. I'm the gangster motivator.
Well, you are, and self-professed guru of leadership. Let me not forget that. Travel east or travel west?
West, of course. I did have to leave Canada.
America.
Because there was
Quickly.
there was some questions about my coaching style, but I'd go back if they let me.
How about this? Be loved or be feared?
Be loved. Okay. Love. Rearrange the letters of love. What do you get?
I've no idea.
Vole.
Vole.
And it's nearly Elvo as well.
I see what you
see. Love.
I see what you do. You're very fast. I like that. Sweaty or freezing? Maybe I won't ask that one.
Well, we talked about personal hygiene. I take a bath whenever I can. Winston Churchill had 2 baths a day. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
Aaron Sorkin, The West Wing, he'd have a bath when he couldn't think of something to write. So I shower quite a lot.
Okay. So remote work or face-to-face?
Depends how much they pay.
Yeah. Okay. We'll avoid that one then. How about time travel? 20 years back or 20 years forward?
20 years back, that's a great time. That was a time when there was a Mrs. Vaughan Spencer.
Shall I not ask any questions about that? Okay,
okay.
Moving on with that. Okay. Breakfast or dinner?
Well, it depends. Dinner.
Okay. Family reunion or friend reunion?
Friend reunion. I've got. You'll read about this in my book. All the friends I've had. I've worked with soccer players. I've worked with CEOs. I've worked with the big names in chill distribution. I had my own van driving around Luton, sometimes as far as Harpenden.
As far as? I've got another one. Leader or follower?
Well, aren't they the same thing? They're 2 sides of the same story. Follow the follower. Lead the leader.
And I've got a final question for you. You can see I'm going with the flow. Live in the same place or travel the world?
Well, I'm fond of the Isle of Wight. I'm fond of Luton. But I learned so much when I was living in Peru and Borneo. So I'd say travel. Even if you can't leave where you are, travel.
So come on, leave everybody with a real nugget of wisdom for the Christmas special. As I say, we're almost now where are we going for about 3 years? So
right?
This is a big deal. So here we are. We've got Santa hats. We've got Christmas trees. We've got podcast awards. We've got buzzers. But we need some real insight. Leave us with a nugget that we can chew on over the Christmas and festive break that will take leaders into 2024 with aplomb.
Aplomb.
I just felt like using that. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, well, come to me. That's the thing, because I am the impresario of your best case scenario. Say yes to success. Let me show you how. Why and when and wow. It's time to feel. It's time to feel, because, I'm reinventing the leadership wheel. So leadership need no longer be this burden, no longer a mantle, but in a way, a little hat you put on, a new frock maybe that we all put on, a new pair of tights we can all put on for 2024. Let's put on a new leadership model. Human-centered, yes, but maybe if you've got a little dog, maybe dog-centered too, or something else centered, mouse-centered.
I think I love the phrase still, don't be needy, be succeedy. I think that's the message, isn't it, for 2024?
Exactly.
I want to say, Elvo, thank you so much for coming into the podcast studio. I know we booked you many years ago, but thank you.
Thank you.
Join us again next week for more curiosity and insight with the Leadership Enigma. We'd love to hear your comments on today's show as well as suggestions for future topics and guests. Get in touch with me on LinkedIn or visit us at www.leadersenigma.com. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe on all your major podcast platforms and on our dedicated YouTube channel. Thanks again for joining the community.